Jai Hind, everyone. I'm Major Mohammad Ali Shah, and I feel truly lucky, privileged, and honored to have a personality with us who I've admired a great deal for a very, very long time. Who has interviewed my uncle Nasir Saab, my aunt Ratna Pathak Shah, my sister has been on screen with her, Sana Shah Halim. I've been interviewed by her a couple of times, and today is my chance to get her on the other side, who needs no introduction, of course. And she's had the best of education. Someone from St. Stephen's College, doing master from Jamia Millia Islamia, going on to Columbia University, and we all know Barkhadat. But let me a small little thing though, customary I'll have to say. Her father, Mr. S.P. Dutt, was with Air India and a highly respected man. What a solid reputation. You ask any of the Air India employees, they'll swear by him. Her mother, Prabha Dutt. Oh God, we all are familiar with her writings. She was a renowned journalist with the Hindustan Times. Her sister, Bahar Dutt, is the only Indian journalist to have got a Green Oscar in the field of environmental journalism. Barkha, thank you very much. And yes, of course, Padma Shri. I mean, that's something which, though Barkha always plays it down, but the fourth, the highest civilian honor. Barkha, thank you very much for sparing out time.
Thank you, Major. It's a pleasure being here. And I'm sorry I wanted to do this conversation with you a lot earlier. But between our crazy schedules, we were not able to match time earlier. So I'm glad I'm here now.
Thank you, Barkha. Barkha, let's begin with your early childhood as a student in school. Were you always very eloquent, always taking part in debates, winning competitions, winning the best actress or the best debater or the best exclamation, best elocution? Yeah, because you speak so well. So I'm a little intrigued to know about that.
So I think, I was always interested in communication, whether it was writing for the school magazine or taking part in plays or speaking in the assembly. I was also keenly into sport. I used to play basketball for both school and college. But I was never, I think I was set free to do all this because this was a different time. My parents didn't push me that you have to perform in a, ABC way in academics. I didn't have that kind of exam pressure that today's kids have. Um, in that sense, I was always encouraged to find my passion first and then think about academics. I was decently okay at academics, very bad at subjects like math, very good at subjects like English, and in between on other subjects. But my main accomplishments were really in extracurriculars and not in academics.
Okay, and then tell me about your days at St. Stephen's. Stevens, they have a very solid network. And how was your time when you went to Stevens? Were you part of the dramatic society over there? Yeah. So tell me about your time in Stevens.
Well, I would say they were the happiest 3 years of my life. I made my deepest friendships there. I studied literature there, but most of my friends were from economics. And we used to spend hours after classes again writing, taking part in plays. I was a member of the Shakespeare Society. I used to play basketball. We used to go on college trips. I made my closest friends there who continue to be my friends even today. And I think it was my first exposure to really the world of ideas and these kind of debates that we have around ideas today. This really started for me in my college years, and it was a very, very special time. I think the brightest people I've ever met, the most talented people I've ever met were in college. And also we were very rebellious. We thought we should question everything, we should challenge everything. So I think my early rebellious streak started in St. Stephen's College.
Right. I had not got through the NSD twice. So someone told me NSD में दाखला नहीं हुआ कोई बात नहीं तुम जामिया चले जाओ जामिया में learn about journalism. अरे बरखदत भी तो जामिया की है. So I was like, oh, बरखदत
Gee.
भी जामिया की है. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. So I applied for Jamia and I failed the entrance test for Jamia as well. But the irony is, I frequently went back to Jamia to act in the short films. You have that talent. You make these short films. Who's your talent? That way. Now, I would like to know a bit about your stint with Jamia. How did those years help you shape up? Was Shah Rukh Khan and the attractive like the for me it was Barkha Dutt Jamia ki hai. Bhai Shah Rukh Khan bhi yahan pe pade the. Was he the factor or just on a lighter note? Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, the only thing we knew about Shah Rukh in the time that I went to Jamia was his TV series. He was not a big film star then, but Fauji, which was his life as in the Forge as a soldier, was a very big hit. And we knew of him as this sort of maverick St. Columbus boy who had done very well at Jamia also. But I'll tell you, for me, I was torn between going to Jamia and going to law fac. I wanted to be a lawyer, and in fact, a part of me still wants to do law. And my law faculty entrance exam and my Jamia entrance exam was on the same day. And then I just decided, somehow it was like the flip of a coin, that I'll go and do mass comm at Jamia. But it was a very, very coveted course. It was very difficult to get into, at least at that time. There were only 30 vacancies all over the country. And there were not too many other, not like today, there were no other journalism programs. You only had Jamia and you had IIMC and you had pretty much nothing else. And I still remember, I think I got through because we were asked in the entrance exam to review a book of Vikram Seth. And Vikram Seth had just written Golden Gate all in verse. So I had this idea that let me write the review in a poetry form. So I reviewed, like I wrote my entrance exam or the big part of it in verse. And I think that that innovation probably helped me get through. Um, I learned a lot at Jamia about technical sides that really came in handy for me later, like lights, how to make sound, film editing, camera, what a shot should look like. And all of this really gave me an advantage because when I eventually became a television and a broadcast journalist, I found that there was hardly anyone who was technically trained. I was pretty much the only person because most other people had come from newspapers. And I had thought I'd make movies. So my training was in all the technical areas, and that's thanks to Jamia.
So you want to make movies also? I mean, have you ever thought of yourself as a filmmaker ever in the future, Barka?
I still do. I think I want to get into some sort of long form, maybe web series. I think that's certainly something I'd like to explore pretty soon.
That would be very, very intriguing for us, as a viewers to watch.
Yeah,
Tell us about in 1999, it was a turning point in your life, when you went to
yeah,
cover the Kargil War, and that time your the favorite the a very popular tagline. I'm calling from a bunker. You wearing a helmet, and that scene is something which is unforgettable by everyone. And of course, the interview with Captain Vikram Batra, Paramveer Chakra about Dil Mange More. So tell us about your experience at Kargil in 1999 when you were first told that you have to move to Kargil and such things. Because there have been films like Lakshya, where Presenta and all, without naming, but you have been portrayed by as the epitome by a
yeah.
lot of actors. Yes,
So Preeti Zinta's name in Laksh was Romila Datta, and she had a hairstyle like mine. I had short hair for most of my life. Abhi thode grow ho gaye. Uh, Kargil was the most transformative experience of my life, and I always say that it's the one story. Other than Kargil, the only other story that's come close is my 2 year journey reporting COVID from across India. But Kargil was a masterclass in life, and nobody told me that you have to go to Kargil. I had to beg for permission to go. First, NDTV was not very, they were a bit protective, and then the army was a bit hesitant because I would have been possibly the only woman or one of the handful of women in an all male zone. And they were very worried about logistical things like bathrooms, where to sleep, what to eat. And I assured them that I was not looking for any special treatment and I understood that I was going into a war zone. Now, that said, I was in my 20s. I'd never experienced war, I'd never experienced conflict. I had just come back from Colombia and it was the first such exposure I ever had in my life, and nothing prepared me for what happened next. And that moment you talk about when I'm calling from a bunker. Now, what most people don't remember is that there were no phones in Jammu and Kashmir for security reasons. They were blocked, so you could only use sat phones, and we had very rudimentary sort of equipment. So we had to borrow from the army and say, can we make a call? And kabhi wo lagta tha, kabhi wo nahi lagta tha. And that moment is right after or right during the Tiger Hill op, when our soldiers are climbing up Tiger Hill to take it back from the Pakistanis. And I was standing next to an ammo dump. And I didn't know I was standing next to an ammo dump. And I had this soldier come to me saying, ma'am, you have to move from here because there were bombs falling from the Pakistani side and we were also bombarding them. And I said, well, I've lost my cameraman. I got separated from my cameraman. So this soldier very kindly said, you go into that bunker, you protect yourself, I'll go and find your cameraman. And he did. And I said, but I need to make one call to my newsroom because they will think I'm dead and they won't, like, there'll be no contact. So I made that call saying I'm calling from a bunker and I won't be available to talk maybe for the next 2 days. I don't know. And that was it. Then, of course, we took back Tiger Hill, and it was really, even today, gives me goosebumps to think about it. And I think that for me, the most overwhelming thing was to get to witness history in the making. I today also when I see Vikram Batra's interview play at the end of the movie Sher Shah, and to feel that that was my interview, and I was very focused on asking these young boys. They were really young boys. They were boys in 23, 24. I was 27, and they were my age. And I would ask them what they thought as they marched up those mountains. And I remember asking Vikram, I said, "Don't you feel scared?" And he threw his head back and he laughed, and his smile went to his eyes, and he said, "Scared? Ye dil mange more." And Ye dil mange more used to be the Pepsi jingle then. But ever since Vikram used it in that interview with me, it became a nation's war cry. And what a lot of people don't understand today, Kargil is called India's first televised war. But actually, there were no broadcast vans, there were no mobile phones. So just to send our tapes back, we would walk sometimes for kilometers and reach the place where choppers were taking off, carrying coffins of our soldiers and beg the chopper pilots, can you take our tapes home? So it made me a lifelong fan of the Indian soldier. Made me decide that I want to be a conflict reporter, a war correspondent. And it changed me forever. I don't think any other story or assignment has had this deep an impact on me.
No, I remember Barkha in the year 2001 when I had not got through my NSD the first time, and that's the time you were motivating me to apply for Jamia. And I received a call on my landline, and there was a girl called Neha. I still remember the name very clearly. So I'm Neha. I'm calling from NDTV. I was like, okay. So we need people in the crowd for we the
We
people.
the people, yes.
So we need some college students to come there.
Yes,
Can you come
yes,
there?
yes.
And my brother Omar and I, we went straight away. अरे बरखा का show है, पक्का जाना है भैया. I said now we were in the
How
audience
sweet.
and we saw Barkha Dutt over there and we saw the guests and now I was sitting next to a classmate of mine, Shweta Bhagat. I told Shweta, some intelligent question here I need to ask. I want Barkha Dutt's attention on me as well, right? So she's like, Ali, come on, answer your Ali, yeah, give me some question. So कोई question. No, not that I want to hear a doubt, but for the
Yeah,
sake of
yeah.
it, तो मैं अपना आवाज सुनाने के लिए वहां पे ताकि बरखा दत्त मेरे को देखे तो खैर anyway that was one experience I remember meeting at that time and it was
Yeah.
Barkha, you are a journalist who is admired, who is loved, and everyone respects you for your bold, brave journalism. And please continue. I know I wish I could be in a longer conversation with you, but I know you're sipping tea and I know you are unwell.
Yeah,
And
sorry, I have barely a voice to speak, which is why the voice sounds like this, but we'll do a longer conversation soon. I will make it up to you, I promise you that.
I love you, man. You
Thank
already
you.
have. You already have.
Thank
I
you.
mean, it is really. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Barkha Dutt is a person of her words. She was unwell. I told her, Barkha, if you are not feeling fine, we can. She said, no, I've given you my word. I was chasing her for quite some time. Okay. She said, no, today, like, let's do it. Though I know she's
And
very
now
unwell.
I owe you a longer conversation, so promise.
Thank you, Barkha. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
lots of love to you. Take care.
Lots of love. Thank you. Bye.